Artificial intelligence, or AI, is all the rage right now. While ChatGPT answers all kinds of questions, the fact remains that people, brands and businesses, and in our everyday lives, there are more questions than answers about disruptive technologies like AI. In this episode of Media Dialogues with Storyboard18, we'll be talking about how to navigate the generative AI landscape and the minefield of technologies coming our way at never-seen-before speed and scale. And more importantly, how can we learn to leverage AI for brands and businesses in a responsible way rather than getting overwhelmed and consumed by technology? We have a great panel of experts today who will hopefully give us some answers and some questions to ponder. I have with me Mukesh Guraya, who is the Chief Marketing Officer of Modi Naturals. We have Karthik Shankar, who is the Head of Digital Investments at Group M. And we have Sahil Deswal, who is the Chief Growth and Marketing Officer at Bobble AI. Hello and welcome to Media Dialogues, gentlemen. It's lovely to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let me kick off with asking something very basic, right? We have AI. We've experienced AI in all sorts of forms for a while now. Something as simple, something that we know of like recommendation engines are powered by AI and ML. So tell me why. Why is it that ChatGPT, generative AI, has caused such a stir? The curiosity, the excitement, the anxiety, the fear. Let me just come to each of you all really quickly and just get your thought on why that is happening. Sahil, I'll come to you first. Why do you think that's the case?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a leapfrog moment for the entire industry. You know, something like this you picture in the future, and now it suddenly lands up at your doorstep, and the end customer has the power to ask a question and get an answer, which is not dumb anymore. So I believe, once ChatGPT came out, I think there was a lot of apprehension around, hey, what would be the use cases? Is this going to be like another technology that comes and goes? But we are seeing it play out in our daily lives. So at Bobble AI, we are a AI-powered world's largest conversational media platform. And, we see chat and intent happening every day. We are leveraging artificial intelligence to figure out what is it that a user wants, what is it that the user is buying, what kind of services are they procuring, what kind of games are they playing. And based on these intents, we're able to personalize their chat experience. Not just that, we're also able to create very compelling, very disruptive, and very non-intrusive brand experiences. So imagine a brand like a Thumbs Up or a Oreo entering into a conversation. It's Valentine's Day, people are anyways going to go out, people are going to want to have those feelings. They're chatting, and this cohort of users is able to look at certain stickers which are absolutely customized, and they also have branding. So it's a very natural, organic way for these brands to enter into these conversations. But at the same time, I think AI has always been at the background. Now with ChatGPT, everything comes to the foreground, and the possibilities seem endless. So of course, while a lot of people don't know how to use it, in the right way, but I believe as the time goes by and the maturity curve comes in, we're going to see a lot more of AI-powered experiences coming into the play.
Yeah, I think we're still deciding whether it's hero or villain at this point in time. There's that debate going on. But Karthik, I'll quickly come to you with your just sense of what is this sort of dilemma, because AI, like we were saying, it's been around. We've used it. It's at the back end, but now it's in the front. So just quickly, what's the sense you're getting from people you speak to, clients?
See, so Group M globally predicted last year that by 2032, 90% of all media, or so to say, anything that we put out will be touched by AI, right? It also goes to the fact, which is currently today at around 60 to 65%, and India is slightly behind that from a global scale. I think we are anyways experiencing AI today, right? To give you a simple example on how it really works, in the traditional space, you really have a market research kind of setup, and then audience inciting, and then there's communication, there's creative production, and then media planning, and then analytics and reporting. Today, what really, ChatGPT and the tools that are really coming up and giving you is the ability to do it all at once. So let's experience that, right? So imagine you're able to give creatives at every length, right, from text to image to everything to a system. And the system is able to really see what kind of audiences are there in your first party, what kind of audiences are there generally in the web browsing and learning. And then you're able to actually see and put together these as a campaign and then activate it across. So this agility really brings together efficiency. This really brings out the scale in which one can communicate and reach to people, and therefore their ability to, maneuver into business metrics. So I think these AI tools are going to really scale faster, and we're really looking forward to that. We do it day in and day out, but really looking forward to the scaled version of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. The scale and speed at which ChatGPT has sort of spread across the world is alarming for a lot of people, but also, I mean, if you look at it the other way, it's quite amazing to see. But Mukesh, I'll come to you now, and if, as a marketer, for instance, how do you see the space? How are you perhaps deploying generative AI tools and platforms in your, everyday work, or some of the campaigns that you do? Anything that you're already using that you can give us a sense of how a marketer views the generative AI space?
Sure. So maybe just taking a leaf from the earlier question. Any technology, the leapfrog moment or the hockey stick growth comes when the technology moves from a back end of an enterprise business to a consumer play tool. And that's the difference between a general AI, which we've been in existence for many years, because largely it was used as a back end technology. But now suddenly ChatGPT it's a toy which is given directly to the users, and users are playing around it. Again, one more fundamental difference is that largely earlier AI was used to maybe optimize your recommendations. They used to work on large set of data sets and would try to gather some insights and throw some recommendation and insights. What ChatGPT or generative AI is doing, that they are generating content, and that's where the leapfrog, or that's where the eureka of the technology came in, because with a small prompt of maybe of one sentence, that platform can create or generate content which was never seen before. And this content is not just a text; it's a video, it's an image, it's a code. So I think that's the big shift that has happened. As a marketer, as we fundamentally believe that we follow consumers, right? So because if the consumer journey is moving to a AI-led platforms, as a marketer, we will try to reach out to them on those platforms. However, as a backend, as a marketer or as a brand manager, I think what essentially it adds is that it optimizes your time. I mean, all of us are more busy than ever were in our workspace, and certainly in a business space, time is money. So if a technology can help you do your task faster than whatever you were doing, it certainly adds value as a fundamental tool. So that's as a marketer, I think it's bringing the speed, it's bringing the efficiency, and I think now the team is able to do more in a slightly less time. And hence, as a marketer, it's an interesting tool for us.
And are you encouraging your team members, employees to experiment and use ChatGPT or any other generative AI platform?
So personally, I've been using ChatGPT, and we as a team, we're using Midjourney. We're creating images. We are using Flare.ai. So and I would love to have maybe a text to video, some amazing tool which is hopefully expected to deliver good results. So we are all the more excited to create videos from the text prompt. So I fundamentally believe in the AI as a technology, and I encourage my team to just get on board. See, AI is the reality. You cannot shy away from that. You cannot escape from it. So it's better you get on board with it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. But there was something that each of you spoke about, and we get how pervasive it is already, and it's only going to get even more pervasive, right? And it's going to happen everywhere. So, Sahil, let me come to you, because this is, of course, at the heart of the AI dilemma. Generative AI. Privacy, for instance, we already speak about the amount of data that people have on consumers. We talk about there are privacy concerns, there's regulations, laws. So tell me what's happening. How are you being mindful of, the privacy quotient when you work, say, with brands and, whatever initiative that you have planned, whatever products that you're launching? How are you mindful of that when you create products?
Right. So I think privacy is definitely at the heart of what AI brings to the table. At the same time, you have to be very transparent and open with the users. So one very important aspect is that users should be opted in. Users should know what exactly they're using. and what kind of technologies are driving the experience.
Yeah, but that's basic. At the same time, I mean, a lot of people are not sure about what their, rights are and what they should be careful of. But go on.
Correct. And at the same time, I think products need to be GDPR compliant. They need to be ISO certified. At the end of the day, you need to make sure that your customers are not at risk. So that is an ownership that the brand has to take. But at the same time, I think more and more customers are appreciative of the fact that there are features which are available. And especially with the kind of users that I see in my daily life, they're more than happy to say that I want to give a permission so that it personalizes my experience. Now, the use and abuse of AI is what will really demarcate the lines of scale. So today, for example, if a brand wants to reach out to a certain cohort of users, it is absolutely anonymized user data, right? It's not like what you are chatting is something that a brand can be looking into, or what you are purchasing is something which is going to be given out to a third party. So I feel privacy is at the heart of it, and if the user is opting in, and most of the times government regulations say that your data should be secure, you should be compliant. Otherwise, all brands will take that data. So how you are mindful of that data and how you use it, I think that separates the wheat from the chaff.
Absolutely. Karthik and Mukesh, I'm going to ask you, sort of taking a lead from that question. What sort of risks do you see with AI? And I'll come to you first, Karthik. Quickly, if you could just tell me some of the top line risks that you see and some of the conversations maybe you're having with clients around the risks, and how do you mitigate those?
Sure. So if you look at the way Group M looked at media and creative and at all, right? We've always looked at what is the right way or the ethical considerations to kind of look at it. If you go back a few steps, we have something called responsible investment framework, where we take utmost care in terms of where the media dollar really goes, right? And is it brand suitable? Is it brand safe? Is it ethical? Is it also kind of reducing the carbon footprint and so on and so forth? The reason why I'm coming from that lens is it is absolutely important to be aware of the ethical considerations when we look at AI. What really happens in the black box is something that we do not are aware of. Second, the training data that goes into the large language models are very, very important to be in terms of being transparent and let alone audited by third parties, right? Those are very, very important, and that's what OpenAI AI and called for, and a lot of other key AI-driven ethical committees are voicing for. So today, the way we look at it, it will ideally sit as part of the responsible investment framework, where we look at some level of transparency into the kind of data models that go in, and what are the hidden biases, therefore, that are packed in along with that. That is one. Second, from an interaction standpoint, a user should always get to know that he's interacting with an AI. So disclosure is very, very important. So a disclosure whether you're actually interacting with an AI, your data is being collected for modeling and so on and so forth needs to be there. Today, I don't think there are frameworks around how those disclosure are put out. The third and critical is fraud and misinformation, right? One of the large impact at a societal level that we will see is the kind of information that is put out and the ability for an individual to personally verify whether if information is correct or not. And from a media standpoint, when the amplification happens, it's very, very important how the media dollar really works in terms of regulating such negative efforts are not being put out. So these are 3-4 considerations that we have in place when we look at ethical consideration on the use of AI. We're really formulating how we want to work together. What are the organizations that we need to partner to do this?
On that note, we'll take a quick commercial break and come back soon to talk about the AI landscape and how marketers can leverage these new tech leaps responsibly. Stay tuned.